before I get into the business of today, I do want to acknowledge that I am on Wadawurrung country and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. I acknowledge that the sovereignty has never been ceded over this land and pay that respect and extend that respect to any First Nations people on the call today. Welcome everyone. I know some of you have been grantees of Give Where You Live and community partners with Give Where You Live for a long time, but I know some of you are also quite new to the grantee relationship that we will have with you moving forward. So today, what I'm wanting to do is to give you an understanding of what it is that we need from you guys as part of the grant agreement. We're going to talk about your reporting requirements, some grant impact stories, marketing opportunities and acknowledgements, and there'll be some other things that I'll talk to you about as well. You are more than welcome to ask questions as we go through the session, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. If my screen's set up correctly, I'll be able to see you. So just to introduce us, obviously you've met me and Sally today. Some of you have met me and Sally in real life. But we also have in our team Rihanna Glossop, who is our grants administrator, and Kerry Farrance, who I think a number of you have also met, who is our head of impact. So when it comes to anything to do with your grants, you can reach out to myself or Sally at any point in time. So Sally does work from Monday to Thursday. And she does specialise in the Survive and Thrive grants. But if Sally is not available and you need to speak to somebody or you've got questions, you are always more than welcome to reach out to myself or to Kerry or to the grants inbox, and somebody will get back to you as soon as we can. Likewise, if I'm not available and you want to give Sally a try, then you are more than welcome to do that as well. We work quite closely together. We want to make sure you're supported. And we also want to make sure you get things when you need them. Often a request comes in for, say, a logo or something that you need right now. And if I'm not working, then you might need to reach out to somebody else and get that information. So please don't be afraid to do that if you need to. If you're confused or not sure, you can always jump into that grants email address there. So reporting requirements for our grantees. If you have a grant of $10,001 or more, you will be required to submit a progress report and a final report to us at the foundation. So we have standard due dates for those. The progress report for Survive and Thrive will be due on the 31st of January 2023. We will reach out to you and send you all of the information that you need and a reminder for that report. I'll go through in a minute what information we have available that you can also jump in and grab at any time through our grantee pack. We also, your final report will be due on the 31st of July next year. The progress reports for education and employment will be the 31st of July next year, and then the following year will be their final reports. If you feel that you need an extension at any point in time, we know that COVID has been a massive disruptor. We also know that COVID is not the only disruptor that happens in this space. Please do reach out. We are always happy to have those conversations, and it's a lot easier when you're proactive and let us know for us to be able to put in place what we need to support you to get those documents to us on time or within the time that we need them. So your grant agreements have all, as part of your application, you have selected a primary outcome measure for your grant agreement. This primary outcome measure is the outcome you are expecting to see your participants benefit from the program. When you report back to us as part of your reporting requirements, you must report back on that primary outcome measure. But you can also report back to us on any of the other measures that are relevant to your program that you can link back to your program. So for example, Chris at OneCare was talking about how they have the food that is provided to people that come in, but they will also be looking at community connection as a benefit. They might also find employment pathways through that. Like it's an opportunity for you to give us an overall picture of the outcomes that you are seeing from your program, because we know that programs don't tend to just have one outcome from them. So I'm just going to click out of, and I hope this works. Can you let me know, has that shared the Trello board? Can you see that? Okay, excellent. So what I will do after today, and it'll probably be at the end of the week because I do need to update this, is send you through our reporting grantee pack, So as part of this pack, we do have where you can jump in and see our report requirements. So you can get a copy of the questions beforehand. You can start prepping them as soon as you would like to. You have access to the link to start your report whenever you want to, so you don't necessarily have to wait for that due date to submit that report. If you know you're going to be away, if say you've got 2 parts to your program that finishes before your progress report is due, then you can jump in and submit that at any time. And we've also got some instructions there around the report submission. We do currently use form stack still for our reports, and there are some little bugs that are attached to us using that form stack. So please do check the submission instructions so that you don't lose your work. There is something worse than having someone on the phone 5 p.m. the day that their report is due and they've lost everything that they needed to submit. So do make sure you keep an eye on those instructions. We are hoping to move forward to a new platform in the next 12 months. And we will provide online instructions for those too. So other things that we have in our Trello here, your grantee pack, is your key dates. So we will have the key dates of when things are due. We will have, and I'll talk about these in a minute, grant impact story timelines. There's some information on most significant change stories if you would like to do one of those. We also have consent forms. So if you are collecting information, so you're collecting a grant impact story, or you are taking a photo of someone or a video of someone and your organisation doesn't have their own forms, you are more than welcome to use ours. We will also need that for anything you provide to us as well for us to share on our platforms. Hang on, I've lost you there. There we go. So if we go back to the PowerPoint. So we have changed how we're doing our grant impact story. So in the past, we used to allocate a month for you to submit a story. What we're trying to do a little bit more of is being a bit more strategic about the stories we collect and how we use them and what they're attached to. This may mean that your grant doesn't end up submitting a grant impact story, and that is okay. That's not something you need to worry about because it is a requirement of your grant agreement. We will work with you to look at a day that would work for your story. It might be that we'll use it for the Christmas appeal or for a magazine. But if there is a specific day that your organisation likes to celebrate, for example, Back to Back Theatre might be celebrating International Day of the People with Disability, and we haven't got it on that list, reach out to me and I'll make sure we add it on so that you can provide a story to celebrate that day, or we can support you in celebrating that day. Does anyone have any questions on that? Hang on, let me... No, excellent. Just to give you an idea of what will happen with your story. So in the past, we used to get people to submit a story that they had written themselves. We are going to do more of the active collection of stories. So Christy from our marketing team, and we are currently recruiting for a comms coordinator, will go out, they'll talk to you, they might talk to your participants, whatever it is the story is that we're trying to collect. They will do most of that work for you. You don't need to worry about that. What they will do when telling your story is explaining a little bit about your organisation and the program that we have funded. It will always include the amount that you have received from Give Where You Live Foundation. Where we can and where relevant, we will try to connect data to the region so the community need is clear in the story. So why this program exists is because of this problem here that we're trying to solve. And we will try to also have an example or a story of the impact that your program is having. So I've got here a picture of a reader from Catholic Care. We went out and collected this story from a reader herself. We had a chat to Sarah, who was also at Catholic Care, about what it's meant to have this role in the organisation, and then connected that back to Geelong being a priority area for refugee settlement. So we will try to make that whole picture for you. We will always get your approval for a story before we put it out as well. So you can make sure that nothing is being said that shouldn't be said or has been misinterpreted or misrepresented as well.
Could I just add in there, Hannah, that a few of the organisations that we have worked with already in the past couple of months around this sort of us being more proactive in collecting these stories, you know, sometimes we videoed interviews and conversations, and those small snapshots have been quite powerful for us to share on our socials as well about the different organisations that we are involved with. But equally, those photos and that footage and those articles are, the raw footage as well can be handed back to you and your organisation to make, because I know myself, having previously worked for a small not-for-profit, not having, 5 sets of hands to do all that at once, interview, film, retake, whatever. It's wonderful to have some footage like that to maybe be able to make your own story or something for your socials as well. So just know there's a sharing there of whatever we capture as well, so that you can use it for your organisation.
Thanks, Sally. And that's also really important. If you know we've come out and captured some images or some videos and you haven't been sent a copy, do reach out and we will make sure that you get those because they're important to your storytelling as well. And we know that good photos are very expensive. So if we can hand them over when we've got them, we are more than happy to share with you. So just to give you a bit of an idea of where your stories may be used, we do use them on social media. So attaching them, most of them will be attached to either an appeal or to one of those days on that story calendar that I just showed you. So the example we've got here is the Sexual Assault and Family Violence Centre on the day the day for elimination of domestic violence. We shared that to connect into something that was already happening in the community, to promote the work that's already being done in the community, and then also I can't remember where I was going with the rest of that thought. Sorry, everyone. We also will potentially use your story in the impact report. So some of the stories, for example, this is an image from somebody's daughter theatre company who performed at the Grace Team event we had earlier this year. So when we had that Grace Team event, we did collect the story at the time, and then we went back and double checked that everything was okay to be used in that impact report. That comes out, that's the same as our annual report for anyone that's not clear on that. So we will always double check if you've provided us with a story, say 6 months, 12 months ago, that it is still okay, it is still current, and that you're still happy for us to use it. And we understand that that might mean that you need to step out and ask somebody else if they're still happy for that to be the case as well. Our Conversations magazine is another place where we might use your stories, and then also our Conversations newsletter. Our newsletter tends to involve the videos that Sally was just referring to as well. So if we've got a video, we will try and put it in our newsletter so people can connect with that. So we have signs available that they look like this. They say, proud to partner with Give Where You Live Foundation. If you would like a sign, I'll check at the end of the session when we're all back on the gallery view. If you would like one, we'll organise a time to bring one out to you. You can pop it in your window, pop it in your office. You can put it wherever you would like to display it. Or if you don't want one, you don't have to have one either. There is absolutely no pressure to take one. So another part of the grant agreement that you may or may not have seen is that you are required to acknowledge the foundation when referring to the funding in the program that you have received funding for. So we do request that you refer to us as the Give Where You Live Foundation, so using the whole name of the organisation. If you are posting something on social media, please do feel free to tag us in that. We will hopefully reshare the story that you've or like or interact with whatever it is that you put online. And then we do ask that you use our preferred logo, which is the little one that you can see in the box there down at the bottom. We will give you access in that Trello board to 2 different types though. So we've got the little box one and then one that's a little bit longer. So you might find that you need the other one for whatever it is that you're putting the logo on. It can really depend what you're working on. If you've got any questions about comms at all, you can reach out to the marketing team at marketing@givewhereyoulive.com.au. We will also provide direct contact details for Christy and potentially Sam and our new comms person in that Trello board as well. So you are more than welcome. If there's something that you need and you know it's marketing related, please do feel free to go straight to our marketing team. You don't have to come through me or Sally. As I said, I want you to be able to get what you need when you need it and not just when I'm in the office. So finally, wanting to flag with you all that our timelines for our grant rounds have changed slightly. I haven't updated the top of that PowerPoint to say 2023. But due to our board dates, so our board meeting dates have moved forward a week, which has unfortunately shifted our grant opening and closing by a week forward. So we will be opening the Survive and Thrive grant round in January, at the end of January, and closing it at the end of February. So just wanting to make sure that is on your radar now if you're thinking of projects or programs that might fit into that space. You are more than welcome to reach out to myself and Sally to have a chat. Sally is the expert in this space, but as I said, if you would like to talk to me or if you can't get hold of Sally, that's absolutely fine for you to reach out to me as well. And just a couple of extra things to pop on your radar. So we're always looking for opportunities to visit and engage with you guys. If there's something that you would like us to represent ourselves at, let us know. We might get in touch to organise a visit to come out and see you. Yeah, if you've got an opportunity that you think would make for a good visit, then please feel free to reach out and let us know. So that might be, say, Chris wants us to come to one of the lunches that they're holding, or it might be Bron having a session with her parents and children. It's really up to you and what you feel is appropriate and what you would like us to see. I also just wanted to flag with you, and I have spoken to a couple of you guys one-on-one around, we used to run capacity building opportunities for our community partners. So wanting to look at what it is that you're interested in us potentially running in that space. So Sally and I had a bit of a brainstorm yesterday of what we were thinking might be interesting, so or might be useful for you guys. So I know I've spoken to people about evaluations, so different evaluation techniques that you'd be able to undertake in your organisation. Meaningful welcome to country, say volunteer Geelong training, so wanting to connect you into other opportunities that already exist as well. It might be, I don't know, fundraising or storytelling, or there's a whole list of things that could possibly sit in that space. So what I'm going to do when I send out this Grantee information pack to everyone is I'm going to send a little survey, and if there's anything that you would like us to look into, let me know. And we will hopefully get that back in the calendar. Just a reminder, we always welcome you to seek feedback on your applications. I know you guys are all here because you were successful in your request, but we do always recommend that you sit down and have a chat with us about what you've done really well and what you could improve on. And just finally, I will send you through that link to the Grantee orientation pack. That is really your little Bible. If you need anything from us, check there first. If it's not there, let me know and we'll potentially add it in, because you're probably not the only person that is looking for it. So I'll stop sharing my screen now. And there you all are. Does anyone have any questions at all, or anything that they want to raise with me while we're here? No?
Can I just add, Hannah, to the conversation Hannah and I had yesterday about the session and about visiting your organisation? And, you know, you probably all think back to when you started a job and how important that connection is. And actually, when you meet someone and see something happening, it really helps you understand a program. And equally, that's for our other staff at our foundation. So we have some staff that all day are, you know, doing the finances, or they're helping build our new database, or behind the scenes. And they obviously support Hannah and I to have these wonderful jobs where we get to interact and all the nice stuff and see what's happening. But equally for them as well, as staff members of the Give Where You Live Foundation, it's really great to have them come out as well and see what happens. So yeah, I just want to re-emphasise that point, that it doesn't have to be a really special day. We can just come and muck in and do whatever, or not. You know, we can definitely fly under the radar. But yeah, any opportunity that you see that gap or that space, we'd really appreciate that. So yeah, just wanted to add my voice to that.
Thanks, Sally. But if there's no more questions, thank you so much for your time today. I'm always really happy to get to see your smiling faces. I hope I get to get out and visit you this year. I know the last couple of years with COVID have been atrocious, and particularly in the education space has been even more difficult. So yeah, I look forward to continuing to work with you all.